Ask yourself, what's a cheerleader's role on Friday nights if they can't be seen?
Overlooked in a massive stadium renovation at Beech High School. Parents of cheerleaders say the new bleacher design does not take into account the space needed for cheer and dance teams to perform in front of the stands. In fact, some fear that the cheer and dance teams will hardly be seen at all by fans and that there won't be enough room for them to safely perform stunts. They say this mistake will disenfranchise mostly female athletes for decades to come. Less than 2 months after Sumner County Schools breaks ground on an athletic facilities overhaul after a bleacher collapse last year, cheer and dance parents are angry over design plans that didn't include any cheer or dance team input.
I've yet to hear an apology from anyone regarding the lack of consideration for the cheer and dance teams.
There's no track between the newly planned $9 million Beech High School football field and the stands. Cheer and dance teams would perform in an area that looks about like this, sandwiched in between a 9-foot-high bleacher wall and fence on the other side. Some say not leaving enough room for a safe or visible performance.
It's the same thing football parents would do if they couldn't see their kids play on Friday nights. Can you imagine the outrage then?
Director of Schools Dr. Scott Langford says engineers can move the stadium back an additional 6 feet, giving 21 feet of room altogether. But Langford says any more space would mean having to redo the entire contract bidding process for 3 high schools lumped together in the plans.
We signed a contract that they're going to build it based on the specs that we put out that were legal, that have an engineer's stamp on them. You can play all you want around what coulda, shoulda, woulda, but at the end of the day, if they took us to court, they would win because they would say, you're asking us to do something that's not in the contract that we signed, that we put a bond down on with an engineer's stamp.
The school board voting to give that extra 6 feet, even though parents are asking for 15. Board member Stephen King says he's not convinced it's going to be enough or that the contract can't be modified. He says moving the stadium back 15 feet would essentially mean taking out just 1 row of parking lot behind the stands.
We can't build, we cannot have a facility where that we're gonna put millions of dollars into this. And the old design was better because it had enough room, and that we cannot build a mistake.
Now, parents say the previous stadium at Beech gave the cheerleaders more room and that these flawed plans, they say, will impact cheer and dance teams for the next 75 years, the expected life of that new stadium. But some school board members say that other high schools in the district have about 20 feet for cheerleading, and they believe that should be enough. Fox 17 News has been following the bleacher issues at Beech High for months now. You can see more of our reporting on this story on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Fox Nashville.